Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Savvy V and I work at the Asheboro Public Library. If you guys have followed our other videos, you know who I am already. But if this is your first video with us, welcome. Dave the Teen Librarian and I have decided to give you guys an extra special treat for October. We are going to be showing you how to do some awesome special effects makeup, and it's honestly one of my favorite things to do. It's one of my passions and I love to do this in my free time, so I cannot wait to show y'all what we're going to do today. And we're going to have a little fun, just play around. If it doesn't come out perfect, that's fine. I've actually already tried this look. I kind of planned out what I wanted to show you guys, and it came out so much better than I even expected, so I really hope that I can replicate that for you guys today. If we can't, that's okay. That's what special effects makeup is all about. It's really just having fun, messing around, and seeing what it turns out as. So I'm really excited to show you guys what's going to happen today. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first things first, I always put my hair back because today we are going to be using liquid latex, which this is what it looks like. I got this for like $10 at Walmart a couple years ago. This has lasted me forever, but we're playing with liquid latex on our faces, and if you get your hair stuck in this stuff and it pulls, oh my gosh, it is so uncomfortable and it's really not fun. So I always start with putting my hair back. We also start with a clean face. Just run like a makeup wipe or something over it, or wash your face before you do this. You don't want any, like I did my eye makeup before I started. I don't want any eyeshadow getting into the liquid latex and changing its color. That's really not fun. So let's talk about the stuff that we are going to need for what we're doing today. I already said liquid latex. You can get this for $10 at Walmart, Target, sometimes CVS and Walgreens during Halloween. You can also get it on Amazon for really cheap. This actually keeps for a really long time as long as you keep the cap on it. Like I said, I've had this for a couple of years. So because this is latex though, if you have a latex allergy, please, 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 please do not use this on your skin. We don't want anyone to have an allergic reaction. We're gonna need a little bit of like setting powder, or honestly, so I did some special effects makeup videos for the children's room. So if you have little brothers or sisters who want to try out some special effects makeup, they can check that out on the Randolph County Public Library Facebook page, the YouTube page, wherever. I did some special effects looks for them as well. But for them, we gave out goodie bags, and in the goodie bags, we gave out a little thing of flour. So if you don't have setting powder or any kind of powder around your house, you can actually use just like kitchen flour, and it works just as well. So I'm going to be using like a setting powder today, but if you have flour and that's what you want to use, it works just fine. Obviously something to apply the flour with. You guys can probably get these. Wet n Wild has really cheap brushes at like CVS, Target, sometimes even the dollar store. You'll need, I think, at least 2 brushes that you can kind of use and then throw away when you're done. If you clean them off, you can usually get them pretty clean again, but sometimes you can't always save them from what we're going to use them for today. So you want some brushes that you don't really care about. Do not use your super expensive makeup brushes on this look. Just get some cheap ones. And honestly, paint brushes work a lot of the time too, guys. So if you have an old paint kit and you want to use those, just make sure you clean them first. So this is the brushes that I have for today. This one still has some liquid latex on it, but this one is just like a flat concealer brush, and we're going to be using that. So we're going to use this to help place our liquid latex today. And then we also need this one, which is like an eyeliner brush, I guess. It's just pointed and it's very thin, and we need this for our paint. And we are also, speaking of paint, going to be using this. It's a Wet n Wild paint palette for Halloween. Right around Halloween, they have a lot of these that come out in different shades, different colors. So up top, we have like different skin tones. And then down here, this is like their zombie palette or something. I don't know. I took the name tag off of it. But I think this one was like their zombie palette because of the green and the red and stuff. We're mostly going to be using the red, maybe a little bit of my skin tone one. You can get these for like $5. I think you can get like this one year round in the Wet n Wild section, especially the dollar store. But especially around Halloween, they have ones that have like bright blue, bright yellow, things like that in it. Another thing that you can think about using is foundation or something like that, because liquid latex is going to dry into a clearish yellow color. If you get a brand new liquid latex, it's going to dry more clear than yellow, but the longer you've had your liquid latex, like you'll see when I use mine today, it dries more of a yellowy color instead and less clear. but you can use concealer, foundation, a powder that matches your skin to really help blend it into your skin color a little bit better. Another thing you're going to need is like a cosmetic wedge sponge. You can get these at Target, the dollar store, anywhere like that. And you're really only going to need one. One last thing that I'm going to recommend just to make the removal process a little bit easier are makeup wipes. And you can get any makeup wipe. I have just like the Neutrogena kind. But makeup wipes will get off any extra little peely bits of liquid latex, the paint that's going to be on your face, all that kind of stuff. That'll help you really get everything off towards the end. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm really excited to do this for you guys. I have just a bowl. This is what I prefer to put my liquid latex in. So I'm just going to pour a little bit into this bowl, and you can always add more, but don't put liquid latex back into your bottle. So you can start out with a little bit and then add more if you need it later. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to take the fatter end instead of the skinny end, the fatter end of my cosmetic sponge, and just dip that right into the liquid latex. And then it might drip a little bit, so just knock off any extra that wants to come off. And we're going to start over here on this side. Okay, so I have a mirror right here, so I might be looking at this instead of you guys for a minute. So let me go ahead and do that. And we're just going to pat that on and just a line down our face. Now, I will tell you guys, liquid latex smells so bad. It smells so bad, okay? You're gonna put your first layer on. It really just looks and feels like cold glue, but your first couple layers are not gonna look like anything to you. So you can feel that first layer will dry pretty quickly, and you can already see that it's like blending into my skin a whole lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my second layer. And that's one thing to really think about when you do liquid latex, you guys, is you have to let the first layer dry before you really go in with the second. But what we're really trying to do is build up that first layer. So you can see how we've got that going. And don't worry about your edges too much right now. We will talk about edges in just a little bit, but I'm just kind of patting that around, getting it in the general area of what I want, because this first layer is going to be where your edges are really flattened out. We're going to work out in. So you want it to be as wide as your space that you're using. And then as we go, we might turn around and use the smaller edge to really focus it on the inside of this area. All right, so this is dry. It's still going to be a little sticky to the touch even when it's dry, but that's okay. As long as it's pretty clear or it's yellow or anything like that, you're good to go. So we're going to get some more, and you guys, we really might just have to do a couple layers of this, but we're just building it up, okay? All right, guys, I know I look crazy right now. I've gone ahead and put a fair amount of liquid latex on, and we're still going to have to do a few more layers after this. We really want this to be pretty thick for our cut, so when we cut through it, we have that thicker edge of skin where our cut is. One thing I did want to mention about liquid latex is be very careful when putting it like around your mouth or any area of your face that has like a lot of expression. I generally don't move my cheeks too much when I'm talking or laughing or anything like that. But if you put it anywhere near your eye, your mouth, kind of your nose area, anywhere that really moves, once this dries and you start moving those areas, this will start to pick up and peel up. So you really want this to be in places where you're not going to be moving so it doesn't ruin your look after you put in so much time. Another thing I wanted to mention, this is liquid. You guys can see how it's thick and it's like dripping down everywhere. Do not get this near your eyes. Do not let this drip into your eyes. Do not let this drip into your mouth, your nose, anything like that. Please be responsible when using this, you guys. Another thing I want to mention is, I think I said it earlier, be very careful if you decide to do anything around your eyebrow area. If you get any baby hairs or anything stuck into this stuff, when you peel it off, those baby hairs are coming with it. So please be very careful when you guys are taking this off, and be mindful of where you're placing everything, okay? So this is drying because it's so thick, it is going to take a little bit longer. Be mindful of that too. Make sure you guys have enough time to do exactly what you want to do for this look. I'm going to be cutting out a lot of time in between, and I'm just going to kind of do like fast forward parts just because this is more of a tutorial. I'm going to get a little more liquid latex on my sponge here, and we're just going to put that kind of on the side to the tip of our nose. So, and this one, depending on how big your nose is or anything like that, or how much detail you'd like to use in this area, you can use the thinner part of your makeup sponge to really get this where you want it. And especially when you're just applying that first layer of liquid latex, you can use the bigger side because you do want it to be a little more spread out. So I'm being careful not to get it next to my eye. I know you guys can't see everything that I'm doing. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to make sure I'm looking in my mirror, but also showing you guys what I'm doing at the same time. So we're going to do the same thing that we're doing on our cheek. We're really going to build up these first few layers, and then we will be able to get more specific. Oh, see what I'm doing? I'm not waiting, and it's getting like halfway dry, and it's pulling itself off. It's sticking to the sponge and pulling off. So I'm not a patient person, especially when I do special effects makeup. So you're gonna get areas like this if you are impatient, but don't worry, it's easily fixable most of the time. Unless you're at the end and you pull off your whole look by accident, which, guys, I have done that. I got to like the very end of my look and I was super excited about it. It looked amazing. So now I'm focusing more in the middle, and we're gonna really build that up. I don't know if you guys can really tell, I don't have the best camera quality today, and I'm really sorry about that, but I hope you guys can tell just how thick everything is on my nose and my cheek. Once we cut into it, you guys will see a little bit better what we're working with. So I'm gonna put a little bit more on my cheek now, just right in the center. I know it's not 100% dry, but that's okay, as long as we're careful. And we do want, for our cuts and stuff, we do want them to be a little bit more textured on the edges. So you see how I have these bits here that have like rolled up, how I touched them too soon before they were dried. That's okay, because that'll look like scabbed up, scarred up skin. So we can definitely still use that in our look, and we kind of want that. So all these little rounded bits that I'm getting down here, you get that by just using a very small amount on your sponge, like whatever's left over after you're done applying your layer, and then you just keep going even after it's dry, and it'll pull itself up. And I know you guys can't see, I'm so sorry, but it'll make that rougher skin. You guys kind of see that? And you hear how it's sticking to my skin? That's what we want. All these little stringy bits, that's what we want on our skin. Okay. All right, so I'm back. I've done a lot in the time that I've been waiting for everything to dry, so I want to update you guys on what we're doing. I did decide to go in on this side. I'm going to show you guys how to do the witch's skin, or the really rough skin look, more on this side. You can see I've got a little bit of it going down here. When we paint, it'll look really good. And then up here, we've already got one of our cuts, or our busts, or busted open skin going over here. And what I did basically was I went on top of semi-dry liquid latex and just set for a second and then pulled away. And so a little piece came off, but it really looks like kind of how a sunburn would look. And you can actually do that down here too. So you can just take one of these things and pull it away, and you see how you get that little piece. So that's something you can add as an element to your look. Like, I'm probably going to pull all this away because it's a little bit too much. Oh, it's so weird, you guys, to pull liquid latex off of your face, but you can kind of see how that looks. So we'll do a little bit of that. You can see I've still got some like down here and everything, and we'll end up pulling some of those off and doing a weird skin texture. My nose is still drying. I did it pretty thick because we do want our nose to be a little thicker. This is definitely still drying. That's going to take a while, but I've just added this. I just did a few quick layers. Oh no, my hair's in it. Oh, not good. But I just did a few quick layers on here of liquid latex, and it's drying. You can see how it's a little bit bumpy and stuff down here, and that's okay. That's what we want. We want it to look a little scabby, a little gross, like witch's skin. So another easy way that you can do it is take your finger and dip it into the liquid latex, and then just kind of go around in those areas and just kind of pull up what is already placed. You can kind of see how it's making that rough look. So that's one way that you can do this, or you can use the sponge, but the sponge I have found sometimes takes up too much too quick, and so you really don't want to end up taking off the whole thing in like one fell swoop. So I'm actually going to go in now with our brush, our little concealer brush, and dip that in to our liquid latex, not too much, just a little bit, so I can really focus on the areas that I want this, because this is a smaller area. So I'm going to put more on the tip of my nose, right here. So I'm like looking at the screen, not at the camera. We'll put a little bit more on the tip. I want our tip to be really built up, because if you did fall or you got a scratch or something, the tip of your nose would be more injured than the rest of you. And then we're just going to kind of go up along the side of the bridge of our nose. So not like dead up the center, but like kind of on the side there. And we'll just kind of paint it on. Like I said, you guys, this is really just for fun, for creativeness, whatever you want to do. So if you have a different idea of how you want to do everything, go for it. Also, please send us your pictures of you guys either doing this or your final look or whatever you guys end up doing with this. We would love to see them. You can follow us. I'll link our Instagram below, and if you DM us your pictures, we would love to feature them. You can also send them to the Randolph County Library Facebook page, and we will feature them there as well. We really want to see what you guys are doing with these looks. I'm really excited to see what you guys can come up with. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more on this side, but I'm going to use my brush again so I can focus it right in the center. So it's kind of like that. And just bring it all the way down. So we want that center now to be really, really thick, whereas our edges are more flat. Well, besides this. All right, so we've got concentrated liquid latex drying here, concentrated liquid latex drying over here on our nose, and some more witch's skin or rough skin going over here. I imagine you would also have, if you had this much going on the front of your face, you might have some going on your forehead too, so feel free to add some more stuff going on up there. You can do another cut up on your forehead or some more rough witch's skin somewhere. All right, guys, we had a little bit of a tragedy. I got my brush stuck right here, and it dried like instantly, and I couldn't get it off, so I had to like pull it away and cut it. But we're gonna use that little hole in my makeup to be our cut for that area, so that's fine. I also have a same issue down here, but I did it on purpose that time, where I was just patting, and then I let it semi-dry, took a little bit on my brush, stuck it there for a second, and then pulled away, and it made this little scabby looking area. This area is dry. I have a little bit more going on my nose, and then that'll be ready. So while we're waiting for everything else to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how we're gonna do the cut. This is the most important part, you guys. Please, 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 please be careful. You can either use a toothpick, or I'm using these little like sewing scissors or scissors for like false eyelashes. Please do not poke yourself with these. Go slow. Do not use big giant kitchen scissors when you're doing this. Use a toothpick or something to go through this area. But what we're basically going to do is we're just going to kind of pull at this area, and you'll feel it kind of come away from your skin, and then you're just going to kind of cut through it, okay? Please do not cut your skin when you're doing this. Be responsible. You can look at how my skin is moving. This is so gross. All right, we're going to kind of cut through, and you can see now I'm under, and it's very loose under there. It's not attached to my skin anymore. And we're just gonna kind of pull it up and cut through. Okay, these scissors are very, very dull. That's what I recommend using. Very, very dull scissors when you're doing this. And you're just kind of cutting through all of this liquid latex. Do not go all the way up. Do not start all the way down. Just kind of cut through. And now what we're going to do is kind of cut next to that line that we just did. And we're going to kind of make that slit in our makeup. We're just cutting away a little bit of extra to reveal our cut. This is very tricky and can go very wrong very fast. And I mean that in the fact that you can accidentally pull up all of your makeup. So please be careful when you're doing this, you guys. Okay, can you kind of see what I'm doing? I'm going slow, pulling that piece off. Get rid of it. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna leave it. I don't want to mess it up. It's very, very thick over here. So I don't want to accidentally pull up too much of it. Just gonna take this little bit off the top here. All right, so that's what we have. It's just our skin under there. It's just where we've cut through the liquid latex and given ourselves a cut. We're gonna come back to that and paint that in just a second. Over here, we're gonna do the same thing. Let me use a toothpick to kind of show you guys what I was talking about. So now we're just gonna kind of do the same thing where we go through and you can loosen up the skin and you can see where your toothpick is as you go through. Please do not poke yourself, be careful. You're gonna kind of push it through the other end of your liquid latex. So it kind of looks like that. You can pull it back out. Take your scissors and kind of go along that same line, just in that little tunnel that we made, right? And then if you don't accidentally pull the whole thing off your face. Okay, so that's what we have there. I'm going to cut a little bit of extra away so it kind of looks like our other one. Don't cut too much. All right, we're going to leave it like that. This one looks pretty good down here. Again, if you don't want to use scissors, if you don't have scissors like this, very like safe ones that you can be safe with, just use this method where you just stick your liquid latex in it and then pull up. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. Just kind of cut. Do not cut your skin, you guys. Please be careful when you're doing this. Now this is much thicker on our nose. That is okay. Kind of cut, pull that away, cut off our extra. See that? I want it to be a little bit wider, so I'm going to cut out a little bit more. Okay, so now we have that bit on our nose, and you can kind of see how thick our edges are in here. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to cut a little bit more up here on the top. The thicker your liquid latex is, the harder it is to accidentally cut yourself, but it's still possible to cut yourself while you're doing this, you guys, so please be careful. All right, so I'm going to take this little bit, trim it off. So now we've got this piece and this piece here. All right, so we've got one cut, a little scabby area, another cut, and then our nose is all messed up. All right, so now what you can do, I'm not going to, just for the sake of time, I feel like this video is going to be very long, but you can go over this with foundation or makeup or anything like that to really match it to your skin tone. I'm not going to do that just for the sake of time, but we are going to powder this down. So I'm going to take a powder brush. Oh, here's. I'm going to take a powder brush, dip it into my setting powder, flour, whatever you guys are going to use, and we're going to powder the whole thing, okay? And this is going to mattify it. It's going to take away all that shine that is on your look. And it's also going to help blend it to our skin. All right. It's still going to be a little bit shiny, which is why you can go over this with makeup if you'd like to really help blend it into your skin. It's up to you guys. So now that we've mattified all of that, I actually see a spot that I want to take off just a little bit more. This little bit right here is kind of bothering me. So I'm going to kind of come in and just snip that so that it blends in with the rest of our cut. It's gone. sure the dogs will find that later. I'll get it. So there's that. All right, now the fun part. We're gonna paint. If you have your already put on your makeup and everything, that's totally fine. We're just gonna go over this, brush away any excess powder that you have. So now we're gonna take our paint palette here and our thin paint brush, this one. I'm gonna dip it right into this red, okay? Just get a little bit on there, about like that. We're just gonna go in between where our liquid latex is and just color it in basically where we put our cut. So now if you get a little bit on the sides, that's fine. It'll just add to your look, make it more realistic. You can kind of go under your liquid latex a little bit. Make the bottom a little bit darker than the top. So like the bottom of it a little bit darker than the top of it. See how that looks? We're looking creepy and scary already, you guys. This is great. So I'm gonna go in and do the same thing over here. You guys might be able to see this one a little bit better. Okay, that one looks great. I love that. Back here. And again, I'm gonna get this piece down here. This one I'm gonna stipple, which means I'm just gonna like pat, 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 pat. Okay. I'm going on the nose. Oh, that looks great, you guys. Sometimes do not get discouraged, because I get discouraged sometimes when I look at my liquid latex before it has paint or anything in it, and I think, wow, that looks really bad. That doesn't look super realistic. I don't like it. Just finish your look, you guys. Finish it out before you decide if you hate it or not, because that'll really help you see the full picture. All right, I'm gonna bring a little bit down on the tip of my nose underneath right here, just a little. Now we're gonna go through and we are gonna make this look a little more realistic, because right now it just looks like we drew red lines all over our face and it looks kind of crazy. But it's important to get those filled in so you can start seeing the rest of it. So now, without adding any more paint to our brush, we just want like whatever's on there, we're gonna kind of go around and stipple it again and just kind of add some bruising effects and some more redness around the outside of our cuts and stuff. So we can start over here with this one. Just lightly stipple around your cut, moving outward as you go, okay? So it doesn't look super great right now, but give me just a second and I'll show you guys what we're gonna do with it. This brush, I have not added anything to it. This paint, if you get this little palette, will go a long way. So I'm really just using like whatever is left on my brush, okay? Why am I just like way over here? I'm not even in frame. I'm sorry, guys. Now painting this will really bring out all of the textures that you guys have in your liquid latex. So all the little witch's skin details that you guys put in, all the little scabby bits, everything. Painting that will really help bring that out. All right, that's our nose. Our nose looks fantastic, okay? And if you put foundation or whatever on top of it before you paint it, that will, again, help blend in these yellow areas that you guys see. I just am running out of time. I actually have class in an hour, and I don't want to scare my professor. So, all right, now that we have all this stuff going on, I'm actually going to take my finger and just kind of go around the edges and just help to blend out that redness that we put in it. This does not look exactly like what my original one looked like. I can put in a little screenshot of what I did originally. I liked it a lot better, but that's okay. Like I said, special effects makeup is all about messing up, trying again, and making it better and better every time. I'm going to actually take this little skin tone color and kind of go over the red around the outside. That'll help blend it in, and I'm just using my finger with this one, okay? And if you don't have this paint palette, they do sell just paint pots that are just red. I have one that's just white. And if you just want to get that, if it's cheaper for you or something, that's totally fine. You can go over these bits with foundation or whatever you can use to kind of make it match your skin tone a little more. Now do be careful if you are using the skin tone color on top of red on top of a smoother surface, so like this side was more smooth, it will kind of turn it pink instead of just blending it out. See how it's just turning violet pink? Just keep that in mind with what you're doing. This paint is actually a really good match to my skin tone, so it's fun. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the more yellow spots with it to kind of blend it in. I also do still have a little red on my finger, so it's kind of making everything pink. Which, if you have pink undertones in your skin, that works perfect. And we'll go over this whole thing again with the setting powder. I actually kind of like how my nose looks, so I'm not going to put a whole lot on there, just maybe on the sides down here. We're actually going to go in with some of this green because green is going to cancel out red. Alright. Just going to get a little bit on our brush. You guys probably can't see any of it. We're just going to kind of pat it closer to the edges of our look. This will also help give us a bruise effect because you don't get injuries like this and then not bruise up, right? Because, oh my goodness. I'm going to take just a little bit more of that skin tone color. Right, now guys, I'm just taking a little bit of red on my finger, just a little bit. I'm literally just like touching it. Look at how much comes off, so much. And just patting that around these rougher areas, just super, super lightly, guys, super lightly. To just kind of give more of that scraped effect and to help blend everything in together, right? This one's not coming out my favorite. It looked better the first time I did it. We're having some issues with the color blending in. We've just got this pink chunk. I don't even know where it came from, you guys. But again, we're going to kind of go over all of these bits. Use your finger, use a brush, whatever you guys are comfortable with. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more skin tone to this area here. It's also really hard, you guys, because I have a lot of natural red in my skin anyway, so a lot of that is coming through right now, and that's a little bit difficult to deal with. You can see, like, right here, I've got a lot of just natural redness. Alright, you guys, and there you have it. I look crazy. I look a mess. Some of these techniques came out a lot better than others, but they really just take a lot of practice. This one, we had a lot of issues with color, but it looks more like a bruise than anything, so that's kind of cool. We still got this pink patch here. I just can't get rid of it without making it look worse, so I'm going to ignore it and go with our winner today is definitely the nose. I think it looks dope. Also, this one down here looks really awesome. It might need a little more skin color around it, so I would probably take a concealer and kind of pat around it with concealer to really cover it up, because this makeup, this paint pot, this color is really not made as like a concealer or whatever. When you pat it in, it's going to blend out instead of cover up. But I still really like how this one came out. My nose is my absolute favorite part. This one definitely needs a little more blending, for sure. But you know, guys, I look a hot mess, and you know what? We just had a lot of fun doing it anyway. So I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. Please, please, please send us your pictures if you guys decide to try and do this. I will put a list of what I used down in the description box. I'll also put a link to our Instagram and our Facebook page so that you guys can send us your looks. I want to see if you guys can do better than me, because obviously you probably can. Remember, practice makes perfect. Nothing's supposed to be perfect in special effects makeup, though, as long as you're having fun. And I just want to say happy Halloween, you guys. We really miss seeing you at the library. We hope you guys can come back soon. Until then, we will try our best to keep making these spooky videos for you guys. Be on the lookout for another October surprise coming soon, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. We miss you. Bye. Alright, so I gotta take some pictures of this before I rip it off my skin, but I wanted to show you guys how it looks taking it off, because it's crazy. So let me take a few pictures, and then I have class in like 15 minutes, so that's a lot of fun. So let me, oh my goodness. Alright guys, if you use blurring filter on Snapchat, I don't know what it's called. It's this one that gives you sparkles and makes you look really gold and filtered. Use that one if you make a lot of mistakes like me, and it will smooth out your skin and make this look very realistic. I'm going to put this in the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. My makeup looks a lot better with a filter on it. But, alright guys, enough selfies. Let's rip this off our face. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to grab like a piece that's loose, so like where you cut it and stuff, and just peel. Oh, the baby hairs. Ooh. Look at that. Ew. Oh my god, it's so gross. See, this is what I mean by do not get it too close to your eye, because your skin is so delicate up there, and when you try and take this off, it's gonna hurt. I'm definitely gonna have to wash my face before class. I cannot go to class looking like this. Could you imagine? Maybe I'll do that for Halloween. We have a class like the day before Halloween or something. Maybe I'll do that for fun. I'll film it for you guys. We'll see.